Yeah, one guest is waiting. Somebody has to let him in. I think he's from outside IBS naturally. I got a message.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do.
Yeah. Arvind Singh, I think.
Yes, it's Amardeep, sir. He's waiting.
Even Arvind Singh is also waiting, I think.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good
Very good
afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon, Arvind Singh, and good afternoon. I think Amardeep also has joined. I think we have all the three guests with us. Our students have got one test, a tight schedule up to 4:55, I think. Just give us a couple of minutes, then they'll be joining us.
Sure, no problem.
Well, a very good evening to all the guests that are present over here. And we are soon going to start with our program. and I wish you all a very good evening, and I hope you all are doing great. And we welcome you to the Vyuh 5.3 Conclave.
So I once again welcome all our guests, and we will be starting the event very soon.
Well, now we begin with our program. I request all the participants to kindly switch on their cameras and mute themselves, and we'll begin the entire program shortly. I request all the participants to kindly mute themselves. Imagination. Yeah.
How many members are going to join?
So there are a couple of members joining in. They are actually the part of the IBS club itself. IBS. So they'll be joining in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
We have a registration of around 100 plus people. Actually, we all were tight scheduled with our NCP's exams, midterm exams. So people will be joining us very soon. So participants who have been joined right now, kindly settle in. We are about to begin the event, and please ask other participants to join as soon as possible. Thank you.
And due to this limit of Google Meet that there are only 100 participants that can join in, the entire IBS is very excited for this conclave to begin. But due to this limitation of Google Meet, we'll have 100 plus participants joining in.
And we'll also be having the YouTube live stream, which we will be going on. So, yeah, we'll be starting very soon.
Good evening, guys. You still have time to start the event?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, we are waiting for the other participants to join in.
Okay. I just wanted to say hi to you guys and all the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay? So, do it well. Do it well. So, as you guys can see, I'm driving as much as possible and as work will permit me.
Yeah, Arishi, I think we can start.
Yes, sir. Sure. Well, imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, simulating progress, giving birth to evolution. Good evening to one and all present here. I am Arushi,
And I am Aishwarya.
and we welcome you to the most awaited and most important event, that is to the Conclave Day 3 of Vyuh 5.0. Technology today has created an impact on every realm of human life, and its effects on business world are no exception. In fact, technology has been constantly synonymous with advancement and has become a crucial and indispensable part of almost every kind of business. Dot Club, the official Techno-Managerial Club of IBS Hyderabad, organizes various workshops in different softwares which inbuild skills of real-time corporate world, aims to foster learning and awareness of technology and its applications in today's world, and to enable students to aid in all aspects of technology in the future.
Well, talking about the flagship events provide the core essence of the belief and the ideology that the club stands for. One such event is Vyuh, which is the flagship event of Dot Club, the official techno-managerial club of IBS Hyderabad. Now, being a club which is driven by technology, we aim at empowering students to be able to accept and adapt to the latest changes in technology.
And the very theme of Dot's flagship event is with reference to the mythological maze full of riddles. Vyuh was taken from Chakravyuh. The event is all about the latest trends in technology that directly impact the business. All the events hosted by the club aims at the empowering students to cope with the latest developments in technologies and other aspects related to business.
Conclave. Conclave is one of the most knowledgeable sessions organized on behalf of Dot Club. The main motive is to give a discussion on a particular topic related to the recent advancement in the technology era and its impact on the economy and the growth of generation. Eminent leaders and inspiring personalities are invited to be the panelists, and a detailed discussion is performed on a particular topic. The discussion is further witnessed by hundreds of students of IBS Hyderabad, and they get many fruitful insights from it. Today, for the conclave, the topic of discussion would be achieving business resilience through technology. Now, post COVID-19, a company's resilience is being tested like never before. Business grows increasingly uncertain and volatile. Companies that have purposefully developed capabilities to tackle ambiguity and unpredictability are most likely to thrive, and technology plays a vital role in developing these capabilities for a company. With this context, the topic aims at discussing the viewpoint of various distinguished industry leaders, the role of technology in making businesses resilient and future ready. For everything that we are doing today. Yeah.
For everything that we are doing today or able to do, we thank our beloved mentor, Dr. Krishna Sir. Dr. Krishna Sir is currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Operations and Management. His teaching areas include supply chain management and operation research. And also his research area includes logistics supply chain management, risk management, and decision sciences. He has numerous publications in his name. Also with us today, we have our moderator, Professor N. Sivaprasad Sir, who is also working currently as an assistant professor in the Department of Operations and Management. Prior to this, he worked as the head HR, quality and training, also as the Vice President of Operation in Corsair Innovations Private Limited, and he has numerous publications to his name.
And for the session today, we are immensely proud to have the best industry experts with us. So beginning with Mr. Mukesh Gupta, sir, Vice President of Global Logic. We welcome you, sir. The second guest for the evening is Mr. Arun Singh, Director of UBS Group, Swiss multinational investment bank and financial services company. And lastly, we have with us Mr. Amar, co-founder of strategy and innovation of Yorio, which is a logistic company. Unfortunately, our fourth guest couldn't turn up due to some last moment exigencies. So, on behalf of whole team of Dot Club, we welcome the guest of honors, respected moderator sir, respected club mentor sir, as well as to our beloved participants.
And before we move ahead with our conclave, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce something new and exciting initiative from Dot Club. Dot Club has planned to start a brand new series of podcasts named Dotcast, which will include sessions on latest technology and advancements and their impact on common people. These sessions will be of 10 to 15 minutes and will be released from December 5th on IGTV. Curious to know more about it? Well, let's have a look on our Dotcast trailer.
Audience take
Immense pleasure
to introduce
podcast called Dotcast.
our series of technical episodes.
That's good.
Blow your mind. Stay tuned
For the surprise.
Well, I'm sure that you all must be retaining those curiosities and excitement till December 5th, as we proudly launch the first episode on IGTV. Stay tuned with our social media handles to get the latest update. Okay, keeping the objective of today's agenda, we proudly begin our conclave with our esteemed guest. There are a couple of instructions that needs to be followed throughout the session. Keep your cameras on and microphones mute. We will have Q&A at the end of the session, so we request you to put them in the chat box. We request our moderator, Professor N. Sivaprasad sir, to carry forward with the conclave. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Thanks a lot, Arishi. I hope I am audible. Yeah, good evening, everybody, and my welcome to all the three guests who spared their time and in fact of their busy schedule, particularly Mukesh. He said he has got a meeting up to 5 o'clock, but he is still able to join exactly at 5 o'clock. My thanks once again to all our three speakers. And I must say our student group is lucky to have people with 20 to 30 years of experience. This is the knowledge bank we have here. Now it is up to the students to tap the potential from them. See, for them, everything is normal, but for the students, everything is abnormal. Whatever experience they share with us, that is enormous in nature. Within a short span of 1.5 hours, they may not be able to explain each and every aspect of business resilience, but definitely they will give a feel of it to all of you to whatever extent is applicable to student fraternity. Okay. We know that during the COVID, like somebody mentioned, we have various business sectors affected by that. Some very badly. And yes, there are some opportunities also gained through this COVID by some businesses. We will not talk about opportunities. We will talk about those businesses which are affected adversely because of COVID. It is one of the risks which is unpredicted. Otherwise, any business has got something called risk mitigation plans will be there. I am sure all of you must have heard of a risk at any sometime or other in your curriculum or in your life. So the people we have here with 20 to 30 years of experience, you can imagine how much of risk they would have taken, risk mitigation plans they would have done it, so that their businesses become very successful. With COVID, aviation has affected, transportation has affected, and organized retail has affected, and real estate is completely devastated in most of the places. So many businesses are affected, but technology can come into place to manage somehow the risk mitigation. Now, we have a practical experience here. Our dot club is able to manage this conclave by using technology. Otherwise, we would have loved to have these three speakers in our college campus in front of us. Probably the interaction will have been much, much better during the conclave, even after the conclave. So most of the times, most of the inputs what we get is after the conclave, during the informal talk. But nevertheless, we are lucky to have these three speakers with us. I requested them to have 15 to 20 minutes of talk, each independently, before taking on innumerous questions you have in your mind. I am very sure all of you are trying to get some answers for your questions, but wait for some time before they share little bit of their experience, which is suitable to all of you. So with this, I request the order I propose is, I think Mukesh Gupta can start the talk and he can hand over to Arun Singh, and then Amardeep will take over. Afterwards, I am there to put questions on behalf of you. And in addition, you are at liberty to put your questions in the chat box. So hopefully put only questions in the chat box, not other normal talk, so that the flow is not disturbed. Now I request Mukesh to take over the stage, please.
Well, thank you, Professor Shiva Prasad. It's pleasure to interact with such a kind of learned student. I think, as you mentioned, so first of all, as everybody asks, am I audible? All right. So, and as you rightly said, maybe the time that we have may not be sufficient in terms of talk about a lot of things. But what I will try to do is in terms of talk about some of the behaviors that have changed in the last few months, that has actually enabled to think in terms of how the future looks like and how technology can play a crucial role in terms of achieving some of those results. And then, of course, I will share some of my experiences. So if you allow me, I put together some points in a PPT, and I would definitely like to spend 2 minutes on the company that I'm working with. If you allow me, can I share my screen?
Yeah, I think you can present.
Yeah, just give me a minute. Are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect.
Yes, okay.
So first of all, let me talk about what we do, because that will set the context how, and as everybody knows, I work with an IT company, and for last 28, 29 years, I have been running, and I represent the delivery side. That means execution, development of the software products and services for the numerous customers that I have worked across the globe. And in my current company in Global Logic, what we integrate the strategic design and complex engineering to help some of our customers possible in future. And that's where to set the fully operational from home. 100% of people were ready to start working from home even before the lockdown started on 22nd of March. So that's the kind of thought process that goes in terms of planning activities and how to look ahead. So of course, it has resulted into need of massive remote working and need of flexibility. There are many sectoral business, as Mr. Shah pointed out, that have taken a hit to the extent of 60% or 70% of the business, like aviation industry, tourism and hotel industry, automotive industry, and many others which have taken a big hit. And IT is also not an exception. There have been definitely some hit, not to that extent though, but I think this has given a need of strong connectivity requirements and robust telecom systems. That's why if you look at it, all the telecom companies, those companies, they are flourishing. I have seen in my experience, many of our customers, especially who are in the R&D space, the product engineering space, and who deal in the sensitive data information, they have never allowed working from home, remote working. Always want people to be in the premises, and so much and so security, 1 level, 2 level, you are not allowed to take the phone, you are not allowed to do this and that. So much of tight security is required now in this remote scenario. There is full data sharing. Many of these companies have now moved and adopted to this model. And with this, virtual organizations are going to be the norm. I mean, this is not going to change. Even if COVID goes away, we are not going to go back to the era of 100% population going back to the office. Things will change, and we have to prepare ourselves to manage and run businesses in that form. And we have seen a significant shift of operations online, whether that is user experience, some of the services, shopping, education. This is a classic example. We are in a virtual world, sitting across multiple cities and still having this session, and that's the new norm. All colleges, schools are running in this form today. And yes, automation and minimum touch points and rapid acceleration of digitalization, which is very, very predominant in services and education sectors. So I think these are key drivers in this pandemic situation. There could be others, but I think they all can be clubbed in one or two of these areas. So with that, how technology is enabling the business resilience in these situations. And so just to give you a perspective in terms of when we deal with our customers, what are the various things that they look out for? One is a business resilience for us as a service provider. Second is a business resilience for our end customers for whom we are working. Given a few examples in terms of when we are talking about how the business behavior need to change to be more predictable than reactive in approach. How can various analytical tools can help in taking a quick and early decision that can help them look ahead, right? How do we quickly respond to the dynamic situation? And that's where IoT and RPA are going to play a big, big role in terms of automated behavior, in terms of taking the accurate measures in these situations. And of course, I can tell you, nobody had thought, who would have thought this type of pandemic can hit us in this world? Nobody was prepared for a disaster recovery at this scale. And that's where it is very important moving things from paper to pitch across the world. And that is where the AI and ML driven simulations play a big role. How do we look things even without those things, before those things happen, and we prepare and plan for them? And as I said, speed is the essence. Automation through RPA, DevOps, and other elements. So there was a time, I mean, when I started, and just to give you a glimpse, and many of you people may not be even knowing that part, when we started, I started my career working on mainframes. Now, mainframes were like a huge computer, maybe 5 to 6 meter long, 2 meters high, and 1 meter deep. That was a kind of one computer that we used to work, and that was not even as good as today's the lowest configuration cell phone. And that was the time when we used to get time slots in terms of writing our programs, working out what we want to compile and do those things. And then over a period of time, technology became the enabler of doing things. And that time is also gone. Today, technology is at the driver's seat. It is no longer an enabler. So look at technology. Some of the, what we call as born digital companies or companies which are technology oriented, like Uber, Amazon. Uber does not even own a single inventory of a vehicle. It's only the technology platform that they provide. Amazon does not own a single inventory of the product. It's a technology platform that they provide. Airbnb do not own even a single property or hotel, but how they are flourishing. So that's where the technology is driving. The behavior and the paradigm has shifted to completely online services with a very, very enriched user experience. And that's why when I talked about what we do in terms of user design and experience and collaboration across dispersed platform and groups, and new and enhanced user interface communication channels in virtual world. Some of these are classic examples how we are communicating these days. So that's where these things, what brings business resilience. Think about a situation. For example, I'd already talked about some of the websites that used to take months to develop. We also worked for a customer, a kind of restaurant giant in a fast food chain. Think about the promotion planning that they do, which takes months, which used to take months, and then those promotions are published. They go from one region to another region, one city to another city. That takes ages, which is converted with the use of the technology into a matter of weeks. To enhance that user experience, to enhance how quickly they are able to respond and come into the market. A retailer from Australia, for example, they were having a lot of unsold inventory. Think about the out-of-the-box idea, the innovation that technology can bring in. We had a discussion. We said, let's use that unsold inventory and just launched a website for them in 2 weeks flat, 3 weeks, as a doorbuster site, and sold that inventory at a throwaway price. At least that helped them clearing their space, clearing their inventory, and at least making that some of the revenue. So speed is the essence, and along with the innovation and all. So all these things drive the business resilience behavior today that could help us for a better tomorrow. And we have to think on those lines. And I'm sure many of you students would be coming with a combination of the technical background or a financial background, and would be doing some major in either marketing or HR or IT. I think technology combined with management is the most important thing that can drive the third aspect, which is the people aspect. So today, what are we missing? I mean, I can tell you, like we have been working from home for the last 8 months. We miss all those personal touch, personal connection, in-person meetings that we have in meetings, some time out, the breaks, the parties that we do, and the social human being is a social animal. So those are the things that we mean, and that's where these technology is playing a crucial role in terms of changing the shift in how we manage the people. We need a more sensitive people management approach and how technology becomes handy in this virtual environment. Of course, mental level is very important. Everybody's, if you ask from the people mindset, they're breaking in terms of from a getting into mental stress, working from home continuously we call it flexibility of time, but in fact that's a stretched time that people have been working, and a study shows that overall, at an average, the kind of time duration that people are working every day has increased by over 1 hour, right? But all those things come with an associated stress level and things like that. And of course, how can we use AI and ML technologies to bring the real, to kind of combine the real and virtual world, right? So one thing is absolutely from a leader's point of view is important is the VUCA world, which is definitely as a leader, if I look at some of the key challenges in the world is around volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. That's what VUCA means. How can we change? And as a leader, we can manage and strategize to convert it into vision, understanding, clarity, and agility and adaptability. So with that, I will take a pause and hand it over back to Mr. Shiva to take it to the next speaker. And we will take the questions in next round. Right?
Yeah. Thanks, Mukesh Gupta. Yeah, I think introduction is apt now. So a lot of thinking hats must have been put on by the students. So what to ask you in the next? Definitely, like I told you before, they'll be looking for opportunities in all this business world. That is their intention. That is obvious, of course. So like you said, yes, working from home doesn't mean that only one person is employed by the company. Indirectly, whole family is employed by the company. In one way or other, everybody is contributing to the working at from home, right? Make the person comfortable to work from home. All others at home also have to bear some nuisance or nonsense from the other people. I mean, I'm putting on the lighter side, but yes, lot of.
Yeah, I would say it is an ecosystem.
Yeah.
It is not only one person, and the way the trends are emerging, the shift has changed, and gone are those days when companies used to ask, "Hey, you have to come and work from where we are located." Those boundaries have gone. Today, we have people who are working, somewhere is sitting in Assam, someone is sitting in Kerala, and that's all working so closely in a collaborative manner, and that's a new norm.
Yeah. In fact, we are practicing. We take classes, one section having 100 students spread all over India. So we are managing, and probably we are forced to manage. That is a separate issue, but that's a challenge. I mean, technology helps you to manage these challenges. So thanks, Mukesh. We'll come back to you again through the question answer session.
Sure.
So I think now I'll request Arun Singh to take over and share his experience and thoughts before we move on to QA after his presentation. After Amardeep also comes. Okay. Stage is yours.
Yeah, very good afternoon, all of you. Can you hear me? I think if someone can confirm, that would be great.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely.
So one of the ground rule now we have set in this scenario. I think the first of all, I think Mukesh, your presentation was really good. I think a lot of things I was thinking about to speak about, you covered that. So slightly I will change the experience journey, because presently we are going through with the pandemic, right? Still we don't know when vaccine will come. A lot of discussion is going on. When I started the career, I think that time Y2K problem was there. So is a different scenario, impact point of view. But one thing I would say, I mean, people, because Y2K, when we joined, a lot of question as a student we had, what will happen when we will get the job, what kind of challenge is there or not. But one thing, I think last 20 years I have been hearing, because the kind of organization I work, UBS Swiss Bank. So when you think about the Kala Dhan, so of course that will come in the picture. And a lot of restriction is there, so I can't share information. But definitely based on the experience, I will try to cover as much as I can. So last 20 years, we have been hearing from our seniors, mentors, sponsor, whoever there. Today is a challenge, future is bright. So this concept, I mean, bright will be there, let's keep continue. I think when it comes to the risk, the biggest risk when we are not taking the risk. So without risk, I don't think we can proceed further. And one logic, I think, with the experience I have tried to establish that if we want to win, so win stands for W is work hard as well as smart, I is innovate, N is never give up. I think these combination is required irrespective whatever the pandemic will come or not. And when it comes to our business area, when we are developing any kind of product, I think three combination is required: cheaper, faster, and better. That's what we keep doing that. So if you have two of them, of course, challenge, because everybody wants three. And cheaper means not cheap. I mean, in the competitive world, we have to think about. And with the experience point of view, if you think about COVID, I think couple of things, as Mukesh also mentioned, that one of the, because 5,000 people to bring them work from home, I think the PM announced that is not easy job to do that. But as Professor Siva mentioned, that you had no option. But it's a great opportunity for us, because whatever CIU or technology head or senior people were thinking about plan of 4 years, 5 years of digital transformation, I think all happen in couple of months. So that's, I think, advantage with COVID or pandemic point of view. If I look in terms of ability point of view, I mean, as a student, so couple of, I think I have tried to best parameter. The short form I use, hip, shape. So first hip, healthy, because if you are healthy, then of course organization would prefer to take you. If you are not healthy, who will take you? Intelligent. We have to be intelligent. Not intelligent means every time you will be the experts and all, but definitely this is a learning program and purpose driven, because if we don't have purpose, then difficult to do that. Second hip is happy. Learn to be happy, because as Indian, I think normally we think about, okay, this guy is getting this, why not me? Why not this? So I think somewhere we have to be learn how to be happy. Innovative is extremely important, and because that is where we learn a lot, we improve ourselves. And passionate, P is passionate. And the shape when comes sincerity, articulate, holistics, persistence, empathy. And why this combination is required, you will think about, he's talking about too much quality is required, then only I will become. Absolutely not. See, if you think other way, Israel, if you take the example in the startup, they have become one of the best in the world. Why? Because in India, especially, I think I'm not trying to criticize, but it's always good to look our weakness and how we can improve that. We always good in the number game, okay? In the population, we are the second largest. In the startup, we are the third. In mobile industry, we are doing this. Of course, we are. But I think the difference which I can see, that Israel, I think they want to be the best in their specific area. Why we have not formed the Google, Microsoft, and all this version in India? The reason, we were in the game of number. Okay, we have to, like IT, you see that what India talent, India today, I mean, ITU is, with the decade that has been changing that. But the one was missing that, which is the how take the one area which we feel that we have a passion about and want to be the best. So I think that was the missing, but of course, now I can see a lot of focus on the side of startup side, especially you see in the Pune, Bangalore, Delhi, everywhere. I think if you think about, you will see a lot of startup is coming up. And one good things, another happened with the COVID. I think people talk about, they were considering work is a place, but work is outcome, is not a place no more. So that compulsion. So now another opportunity, all of us, anything we can do remotely worldwide if we have right connectivity. As Mukesh mentioned, telecom is massive focus on the connectivity side, because I have worked more than a decade in the telecom space. So the kind of 4G, 3G, all concept 5G is coming up. I think connectivity, massive focus is there. So another opportunity for us is not necessary we have to go to X to Y place to get the job. Now they are offering a lot of job which we can do remotely. So is no need to go a specific place and do that. And I don't think whenever vaccine will come, I think organization has see the work from home. I think better word is should be the work from anywhere. So that option they are looking for. So advantage with that, somebody in the rural area and all, if they have right connectivity, they can work on that. And This will help in that competitive world, because company also see a lot of infrastructure cost and all they can save on that. But one mantra, I think, from any organization point of view has been there: continuity with change. I think one thing we have, I think learning a lot of focus is there, especially in my 20 years. I think every alternate year I try to learn something new, because now technology cycle, the way things are moving, earlier used to be 7 8 years, now reduced to 3 4 years. I think something you try to learn, then you will see something new comes. You may think, oh my God, we have to learn so many technology to relevant. Of course not. I think if we have a basic concept right, I think that's what Indian education give us, basic right, especially with the math and this kind of business, some ground rules they teach us. I think that is always helpful. But yes, learning continuously is important, and every time you always feel that we have to learn that. But when you become the management leader and all, I think the challenge is do more, think more, innovate more. But how we can do all? So that's where only one way the possible, that is the learning program. If we have learning program, and nobody can do alone, I think team is important. That is where people work together. Everyone have a 24 hours and combined we work. So people get afraid, oh my God, we have to do so many things, how I will do that? I mean, one hand the cope up domain expertise, also they need technical expertise, they need a soft skills also. What are the things we will do that? So I think one, if you make this strong, that is going to be because personally I can give my example. I started as MCA I did in 98. It started technical, but from 2003 onwards, I'm in management area. I have no degree about the management, but I have been doing in the management. Banking, no experience was there before. Telecom, same. I think 2003 to 2012 around, I was in telecom and then moved to the bank. So what I'm trying to say that if we have a program of learning, so definitely we can do a lot. One point I would touch upon, especially in this area, couple of area we need to look if we want to make a, whether it management leadership point of view or individual point of view. I think some Mukesh has already covered that. One is important is trust. I think that is extremely important nowadays. You can consider as a new currency for the new normal or next normal, whatever you want to say that. Because if somebody is going, I think we have to demonstrate to our customer, okay, we can keep your data safe. We can, so somewhere we have to give the confidence, then only they will allow us. And trust is the only one thing is going to make or break the company value or individual value going forward. Because the way things are moving, work from home and a lot of security concern is also coming up. So is a good opportunity to learn and do that, because hyper digital is going to be key currency, which is the trust. So I think trust, I would say, is extremely important, is more about the behavior point of and about the speed, which is definitely how fast we can move. I think that's challenge agility side, because now there is no more about big fish eating the small fish. You can see now a lot of small fish is also disrupting the big fish as well. So is a key. I mean, how you can do right fitting the technology, right fitting the process tool. So these are the thing. I think another important is scale also, because earlier we used to do POC and all. I think that's gone now. How we can think differently in order to scale apart from speed. I think that is also important. And talent. Who is going to do that? So of course you need a talent, right mechanism. Now, if you see that people are worried about COVID is there. Oh my God, how I will get the job? A lot of constraints will be there and all. But if you look, just 2 days before I was in over the weekend, one of the session with NESCOM, I was surprised to do that, because one of the person mentioned that we had a focus of domain and technical, and the another one mentioned soft. But they mentioned that we have a lot of job in the digital area, yeah, about to happen, but we don't have right skills in place. So one of the national level priority is that how we can give the proper training to our people so that they can use that. So one hand, we are talking about limited space in terms of the employment possibility, and second way we have, but yes, we have to learn that, and that's not a complicated to do that, because if we are in industry for 20 years or 22 years, why? Because we have been learning as per change, and that's not we are experts of our everything, absolutely not. So another is experience matters. I think experience in another point I would mention that, which is key, because when you do a lot of startup, you have seen that failed also. I think one of the reason is experience, because you need all combination in place when it comes to the process, tool, and product. So all combination is extremely important. If you have, then I think nobody can stop you. But one thing I would say, one focus is there, because a lot of organization, like Mukesh mentioned about the one of the big organization, of course, they are able to transform quickly, adopt, because to be honest, nobody was ready with COVID. I mean, when pandemic problem happened, nobody was ready. Everyone say, okay, we have cope up, but the fact is nobody was ready, and everybody has gone through the pain. But yes, they have minimized the risk, and no industry can say that they are not affected. Everybody affected. Is matter of how much. So what I mean to say that, on one hand, I think normally another thing I'm hearing that voice would be the another next big things, like Mr. Modi started Man Ki Baat, and they have keep receiving the voice call a lot in different languages to his office, and the challenge is 1.3 billion people, and if you are getting whatever the percentage is there, you can take the example, there would be the massive opportunity in this area. And recent survey, total in startup, I think 65 at this moment working in this direction only. So then normally what happen, when you see everything is visible, then people will join in the race, and then would be difficult. So who can see and predict, I think they will be ahead in the race. So I think just a couple of things I wanted to share with that, and if you have any question, anything, I'm happy to, definitely I will try to answer.
Yeah, thanks, Arun Singh. I think we will take the question answer session after Amardeep also concludes. But as of now, the takeaway I think from Arun Singh is he has given a lot of buzzwords for us to think of: win, hip, hip, shape, and all this. I think though it is too quick to grasp, hopefully I think our students will be able to see the essence of it. What is really talking about the attitude which you have and the talent what you want to have. Indirectly, what he's mentioning is the pandemic also has given a lot of opportunities in various other fields. So everybody is affected, but the person who is able to come up, they can come up bouncing in that field if they are able to predict and do properly. I think with this, I will request Amardeep to share his experience, and then afterwards we will take on question and answers. And meanwhile, I request all the participants to please place your questions in the chat box. I request to questions along with your details, your name and what you are doing. Yeah. Amardeep,
Yeah,
stage.
thanks, Mr. Shiva sir. You are able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, so I think this already Mukesh and Arun has covered in terms of lot many things which is happening in terms of pandemic. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll try to cover, because there are two aspects I'll talk about here. Okay, I work in industry almost for 20 years. Okay, mainly in terms of manufacturing and supply chain. Okay, and secondly, in last 3 years I started my own startup. Okay, so I'll try to cover both the aspects when we are talking about So before that, what I just want to do, because to set the context, we are talking about technology. Am I right? So I'll just share one video, okay, so that I think so we can pep up. I think so it looks like everybody's feeling sleepy, okay. So that I just see, suppose some excitement is going to come. I'll just share that 5 minutes video, okay, which talks about the what is going to be innovation which is happening in terms of technology, okay, which is something very critical to understand. And then I'm going to cover, because we are talking about the resilience, business resilience, because there are two aspects, okay. When you talk about business we can do tactical way, and business we can do strategic way. The resilience, when it comes, is purely it comes in terms of strategy, how we bounce back, okay. And that's something I'm going to cover into my presentation, okay. So before that, I'll just show you the video, and then we'll talk about that. Just hold on. Is it and I just show, you can see my screen, or
Yes, sir. We can see.
Get to start.
okay. Some issue in terms of, just 2 minutes. You are able to hear, am I right? Unable to see screen.
We can see the screen, but I think audio.
It's not audible, sir.
Yes, it's not audible.
Audio is not able to come.
No, sir.
No audio, I think.
How to do that? Because you are able to hear audio? Still no?
No audio, only video.
Huh? You are not able to hear the audio?
Audio is not there.
No.
Not able to hear you. What are you saying?
Not audible.
No, there is no audio.
Okay. How's that?
See, if you are running it from the same device, it may not be audible. Maybe if you have this on your mobile device, you can run the video from mobile device, then it may be audible.
Okay. So no problem. I think so. What I'll do, I'll just see, suppose still not able to, am I right?
Yeah, not audible.
No.
Okay, that's okay. Then I think so. Not audible. Okay. So I think so that's fine. It's a 3 minutes video. So what I'll do, I'll just without, I think so something.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, can you drag that file to any Google Chrome tab?
No problem.
Using the tab, it can work.
No problem. I think looking into the time, I think so. I'll just stop this, okay, and then let's go into the presentation. You are able to see my screen?
Yes, yes, screen is visible.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I think so.
We can see it.
Okay. What I'll do, I think so. It's first I'll how technology is going to make a difference. Okay, so there are a lot of buzzwords in terms of currently which is happening, which is post before pandemic. It was a buzzword, but now it's going to be reality. The one is we talk about IoT, the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence. Okay, When you talk about the another fundamental when you're talking about is cloud computing. Okay. Are you able to hear? Because I'm getting a lot of echo.
Yeah, I request others to mute, please.
Yeah. So what happens if you see the fundamental when you're looking in terms of the COVID? I think so the important aspects during the COVID, the most of people realize there are two aspects. One is in terms of when you're sitting at home, the important aspect will be there for you, how whatever your daily needs, which is needed, how that can be coming to your home. So that's first thing which is going to be there. Second thing which is going to be there and how that is going to come into your home. Okay. To make it happen, I think so what happens, the technology has made a lot of difference in the entire scenario. So looking into India, I'm not going to talk about anything about global or anything. Let's talk about India. India is very complex market in terms of supply chain. So when you see here, we have suppliers, then we have factories, warehouse, have their where they're storing around 15 locations or 50 locations across India. They have then their distributors or dealers. Retail. There is government which is supplied to factories. There's the movement which is movements which is from your warehouse to your distributors, and the last mile delivery which is importantly from a distributor to retailer, retail to customer. Okay. And when you talk about supply chain, there is not only the supply chain which is going to be there. Is that we talk about planning, sourcing, making goods, goods, distributions of goods, and similar also which is coming. So look into this entire spectrum of these things, just in which is going to happen and how the technology has led to that. So what I'm going to talk about in terms of what the so how the supply has evolved during this pandemic. So that understand first is there very supply chain, because the customer is becoming more vigilant in terms of using phones. So they can see suppose lot of orders. So a lot of orders, or they suppose they can able to see the trains and all that. They can able to see on a mobile. They are able to do that. So that's first change which is happening. And technology is able to make a difference because of that. Okay. The second thing which is going to happen now, the supply chain is not driven by the availability or suppose in terms of the forecasting of sales guys. Now the supply chain is predominantly the entire your inventory planning has moved basis of now what is the customer demand, what is your customer is currently looking for. Third thing which is there, if you see earlier the customer is goes to retail, so during 6 months down you must have realized that again very less people are going to the physical shops and purchasing. Lot many people are purchasing online. Okay, a lot of let's just or you're looking some other stuff, you're actually purchase online. So what happened? Earlier, the strategy companies used to have the to give more margins to retailers.
Sorry, Amardeep, sorry to interrupt, but I'm not sure if it is me only or everybody's experiencing. We are unable to hear. There's a lot of distortion in between.
Yeah, I second Mukesh. I think there is some voice break in between. Probably there seems to be a network speed issue or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are able to hear me now?
Yeah, now
Yes,
Hello?
it is.
Okay. So another aspect which is important aspect which is we should remember now. Now the just imagine now because of the way the social media, the social fundamental which is currently changing. So now consumer is having a different way of purchasing. The consumer is not purchasing basis of whatever you just getting feedback at retail or something. They are just doing the entire research. They have all the information which is available to them, and basis of that they are able to change. So this is something they're able to do only because now technology is able to create that platform and bring the customer the visibility in terms of what actually the other people are purchasing, what their feedback, what are
recommendation which is coming, and that something is going to be available. That's something which is another aspect. Third aspect, fourth aspect, when you look in terms of the entire forecasting, if you see earlier forecasting before COVID or or the other scenario, when you're looking into that, there are a lot of things with this to in terms of past data, basis of how my overall sales are happening, what are the things which is happening, all that aspects this is being looked into. Okay, but now what is happening? There are a lot many other fundamentals which is coming in making a decision for the organization in terms of ensuring that what to produce. To what are the things which is they are going into, because there is a lot of information which is available now using the technology. So I'll give an example to you in terms of what are these new way of working which is happening and how the information which is coming to the companies now. Take a scenario now at a retail. So now what happens? Let's say suppose at a retail or whatever another fundamental, there are two strategies options are working now. The first organization which is working in looking into COVID, the one is in terms of how they can to drive the distribution within the India using their existing channel, and then they are working on in terms of how they can able to create this B2C strategies. There are different strategies working in terms of how they can able to tie up Amazon or Big Basket or some other companies which is already hyper local market which is there. They can able to tie up with that. And third aspect, are they able to come out into their own strategies in terms of they can in terms of on their own way of selling their products directly to the consumer. So what is happening with that? So importantly, when you're from that perspective, these are actually changing their too much. In terms of is customer not a deal. What other way?
Sorry about it, you are again breaking up.
You are hearing me now?
When you ask this question, we are able to hear you very clearly.
Okay. Yeah. Now you are able to. I think I hold my mic. Then you can. Suppose when we are companies, there are, let's say, manufacturers or any who's selling the goods in India.
I think supply chain of voice is not really effective now. It is again breaking.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, can we re-log in? That's Amardeep, sir. Can you re-log in? It might improve the network bandwidth, I guess.
You are able to hear me now?
Yes,
I changed the Wi-Fi
now.
now.
Okay.
I changed the Wi-Fi now.
This is better.
Okay, fine, sir. No worries. Yeah.
You are pretty much audible now,
So
sir.
what? Okay, that's good. Good to hear that. Okay, so I'll just open the presentation so that you can able to see and understand the blueprint of supply chain. Okay, so when you talk about the companies when they're selling the goods now, so they're having a three strategies, which is I think so. I'll just go very slow. I think so. I have another 5 minutes. They have three strategies. One is they go and they use their existing channel and able to sell. Secondly, they're trying to just see how they can able to do the strategic partnership with some of the companies like Flipkart, Amazon, or some other hyperlocal companies. And third, how they can able to create their own e-commerce platform. Okay, when we see during the pandemic, what change which has happened also, important aspect we should remember. There are a lot of customers trying to just see that they're trying to prefer rather than going, because the scenario is such you are not able to have you need to have a social distancing. So from that perspective, people try to just go out and try to purchase only the need, whatever they are looking for. They are able to go and purchase like groceries or anything. But other than that, also some of the customers also purchase the groceries also online. So in that case, what happens? So if you see earlier, you used to have the most of moments in a inbound transportation, primary, secondary, and last mile used to be in a control environmental retailer, because most of people used to go and purchase from the retail. Now what happens from logistic point of view, they need to also create a last mile deliveries in a most robust way, and where I think so we are able to see that the technology has played a role. How the technology has played a role, because if you see when you're making a deliveries, let's say suppose you have placed the order, and you are having a multiple delivery boys. Am I right? So now this company started looking in terms of how they can able to see in terms of whatever orders which is coming, they need to able to create that using the optimization, or suppose in terms of doing the planning very efficient way, or they can able to just get that information, run that, do the route optimization, load optimization, assign to the particular delivery boy, and it goes to the right delivery boy. And to the delivery boy also just try to just see that he can able to do the milk run, so that they can able to be cost effective. So what happens during this scenario? So the technology, because what happens earlier, the mobile technology was not available very robust way. The mobile apps were not available from a very robust way, and the security also was some of the issues that point of time. The now the lot of changes, the changes which is happening in terms of technology, the mobile become more prominent than web, and the lot of data now is getting pushed on the mobile, where I think so that something can be leveraged in terms of making the deliveries. Another example I'm just talking about now, customer, when you're going for delivery, customer is not interested in terms of signing on a glass. Okay, then how we can able to just ensure that the customer is happy, they got a delivery or not delivered. But that's also another aspect which is there, where technology has made a difference. So where I'm coming, if you see, whenever there is a external factors comes and make some issues in terms of the entire scenarios, the pandemic was one of the external factor which is nobody has thought about, and something has come out. So what happens then, the resilience which is happens from most of organization in terms of to ensure that how I'm going to grab my customer. Because importantly, suppose you have to sustain as an organization, you need to ensure that you need to be able to get the customer and you are able to sell your product. Just to take a scenario, because there are three scenarios which has happened, and this is how the success which has happened for the companies during this pandemic. So one of the industry which is, I think so, some of the industry which has got impacted, we do understand. But the industries which is actually having some potential to grow and they are not able to sustain, they are the companies who are able to grow, there are three categories which has happened within that. The first category which is there, the company which is not having technology at all. They are completely on a manual process. The what happens for these companies actually big time had major issues in terms of the growth and able to get the sale during this pandemic time. Okay. Second, the some of the companies which is having a semi technologies. The example I'm talking about, when you're talking about transportation, so they may be having only in-transit visibility, but they may not be having end-to-end supply chain, which is coming on a single platform and able to drive that. But still, they are able to sustain and able to grow slightly. But the companies which is having a much more ahead of a game in terms of technology, they are able to just see that they have a platform, they have integration with the ERPs, they have their data security is being taken care. They ensure that they are able to switch from, let's say, suppose the different strategies, let's say, suppose from your B2B strategies to B2C strategies. Third, in terms of some of the companies also start looking into how they can able to go omni strategy. All that things, whichever the company they are able to work on with the agility where they are able to do that, I think so these companies got successful. So now you can able to see that next 10 years. So during this pandemic time, there are two aspects which is really importantly coming out. The technology which is being used rightly and something can able to drive business, that something is very important. And secondly, the supply chain has become a key factor during this pandemic, where you need to ensure that to reach customer, you need to have agile and robust and techno-friendly supply chain. With that note, I just want to just stop here, and if there is any questions, I can able to take.
Thank you, Amardeep. I think he has given a complete workout of supply chain and what is required to be successful and to grasp the customer whom you want. So one question on behalf of, I'll put in the shoes of my students, because whatever is their concern is my concern as of now. So naturally what they are interested is, all of us know that technology is important in the present state to be job ready. But technology is a vast world, that is a very, very macro world, and which technology is appropriate as of now? I don't think anybody can give exact answer for it, but at least you, with your experience, all of you can give guidance to be job ready. We know that jobs are available, but there are plenty of people are also looking for the jobs. To be job ready, and what are the technologies we have to concentrate on? And then do you think any certifications on these technologies will benefit the students?
Sure.
I'm clear on my question.
Yeah, I'll answer that first. I think so. I'll just because I just see that because last 3 years there are a lot of such requests which is coming, and importantly, I'll just tell it to you. Currently, if you see as the organization, most of organization, I think so they are using a lot of technologies. Okay, be it IoT, be it AI, be it your augmented reality. What is importantly happening into all these things? We are able to get the data. Okay, so whatever data which is because now data is going to be the future oil. Okay, and from that perspective, what is happening? The data is coming from sensors. Data is coming from the entire movements of goods, whatever is there. Data is coming from all the AI fundamentals, what we are doing. And fourth is, I think so, we are a lot of areas where drones are being used. Okay, I can tell you that. And there also a lot of data is coming. So eventually when you see the students from a B school and when they are working into the operation sides or supply chain side, what I feel from personally from my side, I think so they may not be coming as a technology expert, okay, but they can come as an analyst, okay, because there's a lot of scope in terms of how we can able to use that data, and that data can be used and able to leverage the data in terms of working in terms of some feasible business models, okay, because once data comes, what happens basis of the data, someone should be able to work that and make some sense out of the data. Okay, and to do that, I think so the B school guys, I think so the guys who are in this, I think so the entire discussion which is sitting out there, they have the entire knowledge base and they have that understanding how the one is in terms of tactical level and in terms of futuristic point of view, how the company can able to leverage. That's something they can able to drive. So I feel that I think so. It's there are a lot of jobs which is there is in terms of in analytics. They should not be looking in terms of analytics only simple way in terms of they're getting a data and then converting a data and showing the data to management. That's not nothing into that. There is a huge science which is there in terms of there is a big data analytics which is there, there are predictive analytics which is there, there are descriptive analytics which is there. There's so many things they can able to do that. Where now the resilience, suppose you're looking for as a business resilience which is looking for, these are the roles which is going to be vital into organization in terms of driving futuristic strategies. This is my take from that perspective.
So thanks, Ramji. You to become data scientist, not the data analyst, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mukesh and Arun Singh, your this, please.
Oh, thank you. So, yeah, see, technology, as I said, plays a pivotal role, but I think just to set the context, and I will talk more from the IT perspective, but I think there can be similar analogy can be drawn for other sectors as well. But typically when the students, and I'm sure, I don't know, I think it might be a mixed batch where some of you have only academic qualifications, right, from your graduation to MBA, and some of you might have had some work experience and doing the MBA. And sorry, you were saying something? Okay, so some of you may have some experience, and again, it's a varied group. Some may have intention to go into management, some may have going into the IT, some may have going into the financial sector and HR and all that. When we talk from an IT perspective, typically we have 3 associated lines. And one is if you want to get into the technical side of the career, that is where technology becomes very, very important. And second part, that means going into the software development, going into the execution, product management, and gradually moving up the ladder there, just like what I have done. Second area is on the analysis, like a BA, whereas you became the domain expert in terms of whether that is a financial domain, BFSI, financial, banking, and insurance, whether that is a retail domain or automotive or whatever. That's business industry specific domain specialist that starts with the business analyst. And the third domain is that and goes into the sales specific lines, which is like starting from the pre-sales, working on proposals, opportunities, making connects, building relationships, and getting into the sales side of the business. So these are predominantly 3 lines. There is, of course, the fourth one, which is common across all the industry sector. The way I look at it is on the marketing side. So essentially, when any organization absorbs students, nobody is expected to be a technology expert. It is based upon your interest area, and that's what my message to a lot of freshers that we take, whether they are the engineering graduates or post-grad. The key important message is from the learning point of view, which once my erstwhile CEO said, in this age of machine learning, man has to be learning machine. So that learning should never stop. That's a continuous process and you learn on the job. That's the best part. So technology becomes secondary. You don't have to worry that, oh, today I have to learn some technology. Immaterial. For example, today you learn, let's say, Java. I'm just taking some numbers from a programming language point of view. Tomorrow you end up in a job that requires you to work on .NET. Yes, the fundamental clarity should be there about the technology, but the first important step as you get into the job is the learning part. Make sure you learn the business aspects. See, those things are very, very important. The moment you understand the business, the processes, the business outcome, that how it is going to impact the business, technology is a means to achieve that. And in today's world, any technology from a programming point of view, I can tell you, is a matter of 2 weeks. Don't worry about the technology aspects. Yes, coming back to your question about the certification, depending upon the domain you want to go, that as Amardeep also pointed out, that is a very important aspect, because some of these certifications are related to the software. Some of these certifications are related to the domain, like certification in data analytics, becoming a certification on Google or cloud platforms or Azure or this and that. Those depend upon your interest area. That if you want to go into a specific field, it is always beneficial to look into what those certification opportunities could be there. There may be technology certifications, there may be domain certification, there may be process certification, there may be testing certification. For example, I want to make my career in testing, software testing. Testing certification is important. Some of these you can get as freshers, as students, but for some of these, it is always essential and advisable that you first get on the job training and then go for those certifications. So that's my take on the technology and the certification aspects.
Yeah, thanks, Mukesh. I think what he rightly mentioned, learnability is the main criteria which anybody is looking for. After I take him, can I train him? Can I mold him the way I want or not? If he is very rigid in thinking, probably we have a roadblock there in entering any company. I think probably that is very important for us. But like I said, certification, depending on the need, after you join, still you can do certification. That's not
yes.
Yeah, Arun Singh.
Yeah, just to add, I think most of the things Amardeep and Mukesh covered that. I think learning mindset is key, and right attitude at work or study. I think that is important, because when we look, as Mukesh mentioned, I think objective is not we look for expert in a specific domain or area. I think more focus on the attitude side, whether right attitude is there, communication is right or not. So just to summarize that, I mean, because Mukesh has covered very in terms of the from end to end point of view, but slightly if I go from technology portion, I think A, B, C, D, we say. A is AI, analytics also comes in that. B is a big data, blockchain. C is a cloud. Or D is a digital or data. As Amardeep mentioned, I think data is a key nowadays, because one example I can take that. Today, I think in LinkedIn somewhere I have seen that. Somebody was presenting their data average. So it's totally depend on the context how we take the data, because data is all about is number, right? If we don't analyze and present in a meaningful manner, like Vinod Kambli and Sachin Tendulkar, because sports cricket is quite famous in India. So if you take the average of Vinod Kambli test average 54.20, whereas Sachin is 53.78 average. So it doesn't mean that Vinod Kambli was better than Sachin. So it's totally depend on how we play with the data. If somebody has played in some way, some parameter they have applied, and they mentioned that, okay, Vinod Kambli is better, test average is better than Sachin, doesn't mean that. So it's totally depend on how we play with that. That is a key. But yes, I think one, personally, I mean, coming to the certification side, I think every area you will get. If you want to be project management side, you have PMP, Prince 2, I think US focus is there. Then you have PMP, which is more focused on how to do. Prince 2 is there, which is the European side, which is what to do concept. If you want to go in the testing environment, because nowadays the concept is coming up whole end to end from the project requirement, which is the biggest risk reducer, to the production deployment. They don't want human touch. So if continuous integration, delivery, deployment, build, in the whole, if you see that, I think every area there is a certification, whether technology driven or process driven. ITIL, another is there, which is more talk about from strategy to continual improvement. They have gone through the whole process, and they keep coming with the different version where they focus on that. Plus, coming to AI, machine learning, I think what Mukesh has mentioned is absolutely right. His CEO comment, because if anyone you talk, they will say what you are learning with the machine, right? So a lot of focus on the technology side. AI is also another, but it's not important to learn everything. I think one, we can, whatever I think we have mentioned, A to D point of view, anything if we can try to take that, I think that will serve the purpose. I think scope is there in the market to play with that. But coming to the management side, I think normally we say to the leader, you should not do the politics, but you should know the politics. So what I mean, in the same way, we can tell, I mean, it's not necessary you can play with the technical or not, but you should know how to play with the wording, strategy, all these points, so that you can play your role as individual contributor or leader.
Yeah, Arun, you have given a very good hint. You should know what people can do with the numbers, but you don't fool others with those numbers. I mean, probably that you are hinting at. But
Another example, Shiva, I mean, personal, my example I can give you. When I started the career, I did OCP that time because very hot that time, Oracle Certified Professional. So total 6-month experience was that, and very big line for the on-site interview. So I also participated. I thought with the intention, I think at least I will be not part of that. But I started. They asked a couple of questions. For example, I still remember those questions because the first memory. They ask what is this difference between the procedure and function. I think Amardeep and Mukesh must be knowing all this. So I said, I will tell you the difference apart from function must return the value. I will give you 6, 7. And second question they ask about database trigger point of view. 2 questions they ask, immediately they ask me, okay, call your resource guy, we need to start the visa process. So this is the beauty of, because I didn't have experience of technical hands-on experience, but learning by doing is the best. But sometime if you know how to sell, I mean, what you learn in the classroom, how to apply in your day-to-day, that is also important. And coming to the programming, I think 2 aspects is there, how to, what to base. So nowadays, visual comes, people play with that. Don't give a lot of confidence, because how to, when you do like kind of C++, these kind of languages, where a lot of control was there, you know what you are trying to achieve, you play a lot, and when you achieve a lot of satisfaction, oh my God, I have got that. So if you control that, I mean, with the how concept is a long run benefit with that.
yeah, thanks a lot, Arun. I think it brings back my old. When I was also in job, somebody said C++ is very, very important. I'm talking, I joined in 79. So like Mukesh said, his computer and our computer, we saw only in that building, computer is there. You have to take the punch cards and go there and give it to somebody. He will compile it. Next day when you go, he says there is some error. Go back and then come tomorrow. That was the era we were there. Okay. So I think this is all good. Thanks a lot for your experience. And if anybody has got any question directly to the speakers, so they could, the time is limited. They shared whatever is important. I think it is very, very useful from the student's point of view. Lot of hints are there. I think if you can take them, plenty of learning is there. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to be master of each and everything, So broadly what they said is attitude is very important and the learnability is very important. Data you have to play with. We are not saying that you have to be expert in all the type of certificates you talk about. At least the trend of today you should be aware of it. And getting trained, if you are willing, is not a big issue even for the organizations. I think once the attitude is there, yes. Presenting yourself and selling yourself is also very important. That is also an art. I don't think all of us are good at it. But yes, over a period of time, you will become masters in that also. Yeah. Now, anybody else has got a question directly, you can unmute, switch on video and ask, please. I'll wait for 2 minutes for the questions.
Thank you so much, sir. I have a little question. As like every one of us are talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning nowadays. So, like as a student, it is if I'm an engineering graduate or a commerce graduate, I'm very well aware about the numbers. But what if I'm a psychology student or what if I'm an art student? So, how to tackle that and how to go ahead in the career? Like many of us who are in MBA also are from different backgrounds. Not only not necessarily they are into from engineering or commerce or science or this kind. So how to tackle, like how to go ahead in the career with those who are not so well equipped with the numbers. Thank you.
No, so that's very, very important. That's a very valid and interesting question. So let me ask you. See, in my view, career is not driven by what you are studying in terms of from an interest. It is always driven by what your interest is. Study becomes a means to achieve that. So Bill Gates running Microsoft, what was his education? He was a college dropout, first year, right? And we have many other examples. Similarly, if we talk about Warren Buffett, he is into a financial. I mean, the man with a magnet or a gold touch in the share stock space. And you know what is his unique style? Investing in companies which are broke, and then re-establishing and bringing them to life. So it does not come with education. It is what my passion is. So even if you're an art student, even if you're a commerce student, and by the way, let me tell you, let me give absolute my experience. Like when I started my job, these were those times we didn't even know what software is. At that time, now the time has changed. All these Googles of the world has bring so much knowledge at your fingertips that you don't need to ask anybody. In our times, we used to look at some of our kind of old people and ask, oh, what if I go? And those times, nobody knew what IT is. The first preference, and of course, it depends upon from family to family, but the preference and the priority was to get into a job. Doesn't matter what. Like when we got into the job, when we started working, then I started. Then we realized, oh, what it is. And then the passion comes that, yes, this is what we want to do. And I can tell you, even if you go today, of course, it has changed a lot. The first time after I started my job, I went to UK, London, and we were walking on the street and somebody asked, hey, you are from India, what do you do? I said, I'm a programmer, we do software development. Oh, does India have computers? So, I mean, those type of things, and people even today, they don't even know what software development is. And I still have hard time in explaining many people what a software development is. Right? So it is all coming from what excites you, what the passion is. From a knowledge point of view, see, even if you are a commerce student and art student, it helps you in terms of expanding and extending your thought process in any job you are. If you're a man of data, I mean, even in any job, I think data is very, very important, as both Arun and Amardeep talked about. You cannot do it. And as I also pointed out, I mean, data without interpretation is a waste. Right? How you look at it, how and what excites you, what passion, what drives you to do things is what is important. you can get into any path that you choose to go into.
Yeah, I just want to add a story here of mine only, so that you can connect to that. Okay, so if you see, I am a professionally chemical engineer. Okay, and then after that, I've done my MBA, and I gone into manufacturing. Just remember, and after manufacturing, I gone into supply chain, and after supply chain, then I started my software company. Okay, so work in industry almost for 20 years in supply chain. I can say proudly I'm a supply chain professional. But now last 3 years, I am owning my own startup, which is in software. Okay, which is in technology. So what I'm saying it to you is not something which is importantly in terms of what is rightly Mukesh has rightly says. You need to find out the right threads for threads within you. What is your passion? What is your area of interest? And are you really looking for whatever you suppose something is coming on your way? Are you really looking for that? There is always you need to just choose between what is your passion and what is your need, because there are two different things. Okay, today's there is a trend which is there. Suppose technology trends, so all the people are going into technologies. That's not something which is answer for you. Your answer should be within. You need to find out, is that my interest, or I want to do something in terms of my area of interest. So I think it's a choice. I think it's right. Mukesh has rightly mentioned. Over a period of time, you will realize, and maybe after, let's say, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, people do comes to crossroads, and you may also see that I think so people are switching their careers, and they are going to switching the career because initially we choose the career which is not our passion or area of interest, and after some period of time we realize that's our passion and that's why we switch. So that can also happen. But a good part of that, I think, is remember currently you are at least we are having a lot of options to choose. In our times, we used to have only 3 or 4 areas where we have to choose. One is in terms of engineering, medicine, law, or some other area. But now there are lot many things. You can make a careers in lot many other things. So choice is individual choice.
Yeah, Arun, you want to add something?
Yeah, one point I think most of both Amardeep and Mukesh covered. One thing I think very good question, because many example we have global level, I think too much example we can see. I think most of non-technical people has built a world-class organization. Only one point I would mention, that difference between the impossible and possible lies in individual determination. And as both mentioned, I think that's where if somebody asked me in the discussion, what are the critical skills we look for? I think 3 normally I suggest: passion for the job, desire to be the best, and third is ability to help each other to succeed. Because 4th thing is there: data, information, knowledge, wisdom. First 3 you can replace, but 4th one you cannot replace. And that's a wisdom. And that's talk about 20 lakhs to crore, whatever you get because of the wisdom. And nobody can replace. So people, I don't know why sometime afraid with the sharing the information, but wisdom, I think, help a lot when you are sharing the information with anybody. So nothing is impossible. If you have a passion, you can achieve anything. Right?
Thanks a lot, Arun. Now, house is open for the last question.
Yes,
Please
sir.
unmute and video. Yeah.
This is Sahil. One question was stuck in my mind from very long time, and I wanted professionals to answer this. And this is the right time. I feel we have 3 great professionals who have the great knowledge of technology. So my question is, we know the darker side of AI and ML, that the lower level management has got hit by this. Like people who are like who can be replaced by machines have got replaced. But do you see this coming to the upper cases of management? Like, can it be something which can replace middle level management or top level management in future?
So you are taking away our jobs.
No, that's what I'm asking. Can that happen? Like, do you see any sort of possibility of that happening in 40 years or next 100 years?
So I mean, I have some thoughts, but let Amardeep, Arun, want to, if you want to share your thoughts, but I definitely have some thoughts there.
one thing I think indirectly Mukesh has given the answer. It seemed. See, when we started, I think people that time also they were talking about, okay, this technology is coming up now, and we will lose the job. See, the kind of environment we work, we don't know the future of tomorrow, right? The only thing is, I think, give the confidence and all. That is a learning. And same, I think, same technology. One technology is going. I think, as I mentioned in the initially, I think the cycle is reduced significantly now. 3-4 years, not more than that. See, within that you will see the different version and all. But the important is, if you want to be relevant, you want to be, I think, threat for the people who don't want to learn.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to learn, I don't think people see 20 years, 22 years. I think all our experienced people are there, and we are industry. The only reason is because every time, whenever, as I mentioned, I mean, continuity with the change. We have to be ready for every time. And another word I would say, we have to be comfortable with any kind of change. If we, because change only the constant, because if you talk anyone, okay, within the team, if you go and talk, yeah, in your study period also go and talk, okay, I want to change something, a lot of face value, if you see that, people will think about why these guys want to change and all. So but who understand and try to learn that, I don't think any problem is there, because we have been hearing now more than 20 years this one. Okay, this one is coming, that one is coming. But if you have a fundamental right and you learning mindset, I don't think we have any problem in terms of see the risk. A risk is also important, because a lot of places people say that, but if you are not going to take a risk, then you will be, because the kind of investment you do, risk versus reward is there, right? Same where I think first 4 years I was in the retail side, then I was based in UK, then I moved to Singapore in the bank, completely new. Then I moved to telecom. And within 3 years, when my experience was 3 years, I got the management role. I was handling 250 peoples. If I think about, okay, I am only 3 years experience, how I can handle this X number of people in on site? So if opportunity, I think we should know how to grab the opportunity. That is important, and learning. That's it.
Yeah, well said, Arun. I think so. It's my take. I'll just give it to you. Okay, so just 20 years back, I think so. It's I was just thinking about I think some major disruption in technology that point of time happened is SAP coming into picture. If you see, the SAP has come 20 years back. And during that point of time, before that, the scenario was the most of operation used to happen manual. People used to have piece of paper, used to write, and they used to do that. Okay. The SAP, during SAP came, I think so it's a lot of the people that time, I think so in B school and all that, in terms of engineering, people used to say that point of time, people are going to lose job. Okay. Because SAP is coming, now technology is coming, I think so that's something which is there. But what was the need at that point of hour? The need of our that point of time was in terms of how you are going to upgrade yourself in terms of new technologies. Okay, the people who are able to upgrade, I think so they are able to sustain the job that point of time. People who are not able to upgrade, I think so they are not able to sustain their jobs. Okay, that's very simple fundamental. So I'm talking about 20 years back and still which is happening. That means what is the critical aspect for you in terms of being into the business? One in terms of, I think such Arun has rightly mentioned, one in terms of what are the skill sets you are having, and are that skill sets, are you sharpening on the way the things which is changing around? That's first thing which is there. Second thing which is there, what are your competencies? Okay, how that competencies are really you are developing within yourself, and you are able to see that, use that in terms of your day-to-day life. Okay, and third thing, the combination of these both in terms of your knowledge, skills, and another aspect which is important, what is your behavior? Okay, towards the everything, because most of organization, they are not going to see yourself only what is your competency or what is your skills. They also see your attitude and behavior. Okay, how that important in terms of, and how that is something you are having as an individual is going to benefit to your team, to you and the organization. There are three aspects which is important. So now ask a question saying that, is it going to be threat for the middle management? Is it a threat for the senior management? Yes, there is a threat which is going to be there, and it was there earlier as well. It is there last 50 years. I'm not saying a threat is now. The future threat which is going to come is purely because the people who are going to upgrade themselves. Let's suppose I am sitting as a company CEO, okay, and suppose I am not able to understand what are the major trends which is there, and I am not able to gauge that, and I am not able to drive the strategy, and I am not what my role is in terms of driving strategy and looking into that. And if I am not able to gauge and I am not able to understand that and then make that difference, I think so any organization is not going to look for me and keep me there. Because if there is a young chap which is just fresh out of college and suppose having 5-6 years experience, suppose he is able to bring that difference, the organizations are going to surely going to give that benefit and just ensure that the young chap which is maybe 25 years old or 30 years old, he also can be eligible to that particular position within the organization way forward, as long as that guy is having skill, as long as that guy is having competency, as long as having a vision and the behavior to drive that. So remember that. I think so. It's importantly, next 50 years, still the scenario is going to continue. Be it your early stage of job, mid stage of your job, or senior management job, you need to upgrade yourself and you need to be very focused in terms of driving that. That's my take on this entire thing. Technology is not going to make a difference. Technology only going to push you to upgrade yourself.
Sure. Thank you, Amar. Thank you, Arun. I think very well said. So I think the way I look at it, this question was not for you, it was for us. So, so first of all, if you look at some of the data points, so I think every year there are more jobs generated than the jobs lost. The demand is ever increasing. So it is not a fear, even despite all the automation, despite all sort of robotics and this and that, you still need manpower to manage all that stuff. You still need manpower to manage the industries, manufacturing, services. Look at the banking sector, banking finance. There's tons of jobs, right? So that's where, especially at that level, there is absolutely nothing to worry in terms of how technology is impacting, because there is definitely with the growth or an expansion. 10 years back, there were no Uber, Airbnb, Amazon, this and that. And today, more than 500,000 people would be employed in these companies at multiple levels. It is not only IT, it is supply chain management, it is administration, it is HR, it is everything, all the sectors. But having said that, that is one answer to your question. Second is, if you look from an organizational hierarchy point of view, which is the most vulnerable position, which is the most vulnerable kind of level? Of course, senior level. One senior level can get your 10, 15 junior levels. That's the most vulnerable. So you have to wait.
More than that.
I was trying to be modest, huh? So you have to be absolutely abreast of technology. So today, if we are not able to interact with our customers, and both Arun and Amardeep can correlate, we are not able to speak their language, whether that is in terms of the technology, whether that is in terms of the business, we don't stand a chance, right? So that's where I said, man has to be a learning machine, and learning never stops. Even today, we are learning, and new technologies, new areas, new processes. That's how it has to be.
Yeah, just one thing I just want to add. I think so there are going to be huge amount of jobs for you guys. Okay, you should not get worried how the technology is going to impact jobs. You need to start worried about how I'm going to create the competence and skill myself to grab that. Because a lot of new skills, talent which is required into industry. So I think so you need to be rest assured, because I just mentioned about SAP case. After SAP, there is a huge amount of job. I think so Mukesh has rightly mentioned the Uberization and lot many things which has happened, the technology transformation or disruption which has happened. And now if you see the whatever the new technology will coming, I think you need to start looking in terms of which area I want to make my career. I think so that's only you have to think. There is a lot of opportunity, I can tell you that.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mukesh Gupta, Arun Singh, and Amardeep. I think your sharing of experience is immense advantage for all our students, definitely. So I think Sahil, when you go up to you become a CEO, nobody is going to replace you. Don't worry about that. It's with your knowledge. So with that, I think I'll hand you over to our anchor, Arushi and Aishwarya.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, what a knowledgeable session it was from our esteemed business guests. I'm sure all our participants have been motivated and driven by some business insights. We would like to extend our thanks to all our guests and moderators for gracing us with your presence in such an effective discussion. Well, a special mention to all our guests that we would like you to stay with us a little longer as we proceed with the further proceedings of our event. And we would like to have your presence towards the end in our award ceremonies. So it will be our pleasure that you stay with us a little longer with us. So thank you so much. Now we move further with our proceedings.
Oh, yeah, very well said, Aishwarya. Well, since all the world stage and most of us are desperately unrehearsed, but the people we have today lined up for an exciting performance and are known for their performance in every shade. When you see them perform, there are goosebumps all around. So, without delaying further, I would like to call upon the stage our entertainment partners, Club Expressions, the official theatre club of IBS Hyderabad. Well,
सुनने भी नहीं देते कहाँ आ गए हम
ये मैं खा रही थी ये कहाँ आ गई मैं
ये मैं कहाँ आ गया
अरे अम्मा मियाँ ये बात आप आराम से भी तो पूछ सकते थे ना इसमें थूकने वाली क्या बात थी
अरे अरे क्या करूं भैया आप ही बताइए मैं तो था घर पर अचानक से जंगल में आ गया
Welcome to the dot world. We have brought you all here as our Dotian is in danger. And you are the ones that are selected to save our member in this world. In order to save it, you have to solve the riddle. इस दुनिया में तुम आए हो अब आसानी से नहीं लौट पाओगे नियम का हुआ उल्लंघन जो जीना ही भूल जाओगे इस खेल का है एक खिलाड़ी पुराना लाई हूं ये पैगाम समय को है इस बार हराना तो उसकी खोज ले जाए तुम्हें तुम्हारे अंजाम
पुराना खिलाड़ी ओके तो अरे कहीं हम में से तो कोई पुराना खिलाड़ी नहीं है जल्दी बता दो यार ताकि फटाफट खत्म कर दें गेम क्या बोलते हो
हाँ मियाँ, दुनिया दुनिया की बात हो रही है, पर ये दुनिया मुनिया तो नहीं लग रही है हमें। ये है जंगल, और वो भी घना जंगल, और इससे ना बाहर आपको ना हम ही निकालेंगे, ठीक है ना?
हम ही निकालेंगे? ये तुम्हारे घर के बगल वाला जंगल नहीं है जो यूं ही हम सब यहाँ से निकल जाएंगे?
अरे कुछ भी बोलता है, पता है मेरे को।
देखो भाई लोग, अभी हम लोग सब गेम पर है ना। मुझे लगता है कि इस गेम के पुराने खिलाड़ी भी यहाँ पर है और हमें उनको ढूंढना पड़ेगा। वही हमें सही रास्ता दिखा सकता है।
अगर हमारे पास अभी फोन होता ना तो झट से गूगल मैप्स पे ढूंढ लेते उस पुराने खिलाड़ी को।
फोन फोन की क्या जरूरत है जब मेरे पास है ये वॉच। और इस पे आएगा आपका मैप, और मैप से आएगा रास्ता, और रास्ते से हम उसको ढूंढेंगे और फिर हम बाहर निकल जाएंगे।
बड़ी जल्दी दिखा दी घड़ी। अगर पहले ही दिखा देते तो। लो दिखाओ इधर, मैं ढूंढती हूँ उस पुराने खिलाड़ी को इस पे। अबे वो देखो, मेरे को एक आदमी दिख रहा है।
आदमी? मेरे को तो केवल झाड़ ही झाड़ दिखाई दे रहा है।
अब सब कुछ यहीं बैठ के डिसाइड कर लेंगे क्या? आगे चलते हैं, वहां जाके देखते हैं फिर कौन है और कौन नहीं।
अरे यार, ये वही पुराने वाला चावल दिखा रहा है ना? वही चावल है रे।
इसको बांध के रख यार, कुछ भी बोलता रहता है।
सर आप कौन हो और यहाँ कब से हो?
मैं तो पिछले 10 साल से यही जंगल में और इसी की दुनिया में यहाँ पे फंसा हुआ हूँ। अकेले गेम में आया था और यहाँ से अभी निकल भी नहीं पा रहा हूँ। देखो मेरी हालत क्या हो गई है।
ऐसा क्यों? एंड हमको आपका नाम ही मिला था उस क्लू में। आपको ढूंढते
क्लू में?
यहाँ तक आए हैं।
मेरा नाम मिला था आपको? कौन से क्लू में मिला था? लाओ बताओ मुझे। हाँ, इस क्लू के हिसाब से तो पुराना खिलाड़ी तो मैं ही हूँ इसका। अच्छा, जब मैं भी यहाँ पे गेम स्टार्ट किया था तो मुझे भी एक क्लू मिला था। अच्छा, अब मैं समझा कि आप लोगों को मुझे ही बचाने के लिए भेजा गया है, क्योंकि 5 जन ही इसको मिलकर इस गेम से बाहर निकल सकते हैं और इसे खत्म कर सकते हैं। और जो 2 पहेली हम दोनों लोगों को मिली है वो एक दूसरे से ही जुड़ी हुई है। देखिए, जैसे कि आपकी पहेली में नियम का उल्लंघन के लिए मना किया गया है और समय को हराने की बात की गई है। इसका ये मतलब है कि इस दुनिया में अगर तुम्हें रहना है और इस जंगल से अगर बच कर रहना है तो आपको नियम और समय के हिसाब से चलना है, वरना जो जंगली पशु पक्षी है वो आपको काट खाएंगे। और जो मेरी पहेली है उसमें ये बताना चाहते हैं वो लोग कि सूरज की किरणें जब आती है तो समय का करो उपयोग सही, पुलिया का भी राज बतलाती, लहरों की ओर ले जाए वही। मतलब सूरज की किरणें बहुत कम पुलों पे पड़ती है, बट वो एक ही पुल है जो लहरों के ऊपर से जाता है। अब मैं समझा कि हमें कहां से जाना है। चलो चलो आप लोग मेरे साथ चलो, मैं आप लोगों को इस गेम से और अपने आप को इस दुनिया से बाहर लेकर जाता हूँ।
यहाँ था।
Wow. What a super performance it was. A big round of applause for club expressions. Thank you. Thank you, Club Expressions, for your wonderful performance. Moving ahead, we have the award ceremony. Aishwarya, can you take the lead?
Sure, Arushi. Well, the most awaited moment has arrived, and I'm sure, especially the all the participants must be awaiting for this moment. So yes, the moment has arrived where we come to the award ceremonies of our event Vyuh. So excited, thrilled, nervous. We would love to see your excitement through the chat boxes and let us know that how exciting you people are. Before we announce the results, we want to know how excitement, what are your perceptions or expectations, who's gonna win, who's gonna lose it, who's going through it, what else. So please show us some enthusiasm in the chat boxes. Anyone? Okay. We see a lot of two students. Yeah. Amruta has virtually given her excitement. No one is excited. I'm sure like this must be the event because past 2 days you have been with us. You have been going through a lot of things with the riddles and puzzles. And thank you so much for giving a lot of kind of appreciations to the day one event. So I'm sure pretty much must be excited. Okay, I'll choose Padmaja. Can we have Padmaja?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Hi.
So, hi, how's your day going?
It's going good. Exams and CP a little busy.
Okay, cool. So, what are your thoughts on our event Vyuh? Like how it was, good, bad, anything? Yeah.
The first, I will tell, little time I will take you guys. Really appreciate your hard work for the Google Forms you made. Lot of Google Forms. It's not that easy to make. Whoever teammates you guys have made it, really, I really want to clap for you guys. You made it a great one. For the first day event, it was really tough to find so many words. Like it was really for me, it was really tough to go. I was really like tiring also, but very much interesting. Second day, you have to use your brain, and I think my partner Pragya is over here also. She really helped me a lot to do it. I thought that was not possible. I think these games you guys are conducting, helping me to meet teammates, friends, and also like developing new things which I don't know. I'm coming across it. Really loved it. The event was super.
Okay, thank you so much. Overwhelmed with all your lovely words. And yes, kudos to entire team of Dot Club, for making you feel that you were excited and you enjoyed the game. So without any further ado, now I announce the winners of the Vyuh. Well, the second runners up is Prayas Warriors. And from Team Prayas Warriors, we have Rahul Sen Gupta and Bhavesh Gupta. Can we have a big round of applause for these teams? Congratulations, Prayas Warriors, for being the second runners up for the event. Now we move on to the first runners up. So, any guesses, guys? Any guess? Okay, so we have the first runners up. It's from Team MWB and they are Padmaja Kar and Pragya Ved. And yes, the one who has actually made us astound with their exceptional performance throughout the event is none other than Team Nazaria. And the people who represented is Meghna Manoj and Titas Banerjee. Congratulations, guys, for the winners. And I applaud each and every team members for showing such great enthusiasm and participation. So yes, all the winners are felicitated with some cool goodies, gifts, and vouchers from our sponsors, Rapper Curations, Be Blush, Ecos, Levin, and Metri. We will also be providing e-certificates to all our participants. So yeah, congratulations once again. Over to you, Arushi.
Yeah. So without wasting any much of your time, let's conclude this event. So officially, we come towards the end of our event. On behalf of the entire club of Dot, I Arushi
and I Aishwarya
thank each and every one of you for having participated, involved yourself, and supported us. We really appreciate it and hoping to see you in our future events. These 3 days of View 5.0 would not have been possible without the support of our student coordinator, Mrs. Madhvi Garikaparthi ma'am. We would also like to thank our coverage partners, Club Newswire, for covering us throughout the event, our entertainment partners, Club Expressions. We also thank our sponsors, Rapper Curations, Be Blush, Ecos Living, and Metvi for their support and all the exciting gifts and vouchers to our winners. Dot Club wholeheartedly thank you for the immense support and also facilitating the winners and the runner-ups of View 5.0.
We would also like to thank our mentor, Dr. Krishna sir, for supporting our events and also showing the right path. Last but not the least, our beloved seniors of Dot Club and our Dotian friends who helped us, and no matter how many times we fell, we still are able to complete this event because of them. And lastly, again, a hearty thanks to all the participants, and we hope that you all be seen in our future events. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening and stay safe. Also, not to forget, we would also like to thank our coverage partner Newswire and IBS Messenger. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. And we also request all the Dotians to kindly stay back.